How can you manipulate for this long, though? One may ask, how can you manipulate? 2012, 93% of African Americans voted Democrat. 2016, 89% of African Americans voted Democrat. 2020, 87%. So 93, 89, 87 voted Democrat. Malcolm X said this at the year that he said, this is 60-something years. How can you manipulate an entire voting bloc, an entire community for this many decades?
Because race is a very emotional, deeply emotional issue. It's like the state of Israel is to Jews. It's an emotional issue, like abortion is to the right to life. And so it is a deeply, and they know it, and they do manipulate it that long. But also it's because Republicans have not been competitive either. When they were successful. Look at Dick Riordan in L.A. He was the first Republican mayor in 35 years. How did he do that? Dick Riordan planted charitably 2 years before he harvested politically. He went to the low-income Hispanic community and said, what is it that you need to rebuild your community? And he brought some of his friends to the table, and they built a state-of-the-art facility so that those communities could engage in the after-school activities to teach English. It was only after he planted charitably that those liberal Democratic leaders embraced Dick Riordan, and he became the first Republican mayor in 35 years. And when he got reelected by 60% of the demographic, DeSantis in 2018 got elected because of the black vote. He ran against Gillum, right? Mm-hmm. Andrew Gillum. But DeSantis only won by 32,000 votes because 100,000 low-income black parents voted because of his position on choice in education. They voted for him, even though Barack Obama and Oprah Winfrey was brought in to campaign for Gillum. So you have 100,000 blacks voting against Obama and voting against Oprah to elect because they made a decision based upon the content of the issue. And not enough Republicans did what DeSantis did. And when they do, I think they will be competitive. But apathy is what's keeping blacks. Also, if you look in some of those high crime neighborhoods, in the mayor's race, only 8 to 10% of the people vote because there's just such deep apathy in those communities. But low-income blacks are sleeping giants. They're going to wake up one day soon.
Low-income blacks are going to wake up one day.
Wake up and realize how they're being pimped, how they're being used.
What's the tipping point? What needs to happen for them to wake up?
I think
it's been 60 years.
The violence that is you're seeing now, a lot of unrest. 80% of black Americans polled do not support defund the police. 80%. But you won't know that by looking at the media. You know, that, and 60% of blacks do not believe that racial discrimination is the biggest barrier to their flourishing. And so the challenge that we have is and what we're doing at the Woodson Center is giving voice to those people. We have about a couple thousand women who are Voices of Black Mothers United. These are women, moms who lost children to urban violence. They're coming, the leading cause of death for black kids is homicide. In Silicon Valley is suicide among teenagers. And in Appalachia is prescription drugs. Well, the Woodson Center brought together representatives from those three communities. We call it the Mothers Consortium. And it was just common ground there. We were united. And so what we must do is we must deracialize race. But it's not enough to talk about what you're against. You got to talk about what you're for. We should be for the saving of our children's lives. And so what we're doing at the Woodson Center is mobilizing mothers from those three communities to come together and say that we must do everything we can to fill the hole that's in the hearts of our children that causes them to devalue their life to the point where they're willing to take their own or take someone else's. It's different sides of the same coin.